This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Gilas Pilipinas locks in its 12-man lineup for the SEA Games, with 4 new faces joining a veteran core after a week of eligibility shakeups. Gilas Pilipinas unveils its SEA Games rosters, with Jia De Guzman leading the women and Bagunas Espejo anchoring the men as both teams chase medals in Thailand. Justin Brownlee suits up for Meralco in the EASL, and even his longtime uniform maker says the new look feels surreal. The Filipinas are in Thailand and back on the pitch, opening their SEA Games push under the Chon Buri heat with momentum and massive expectations. 3-way title fight under the Abu Dhabi lights. Norris, Piastri, and Verstappen chase the F1 crown with everything on the line. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 4th of December. Now, here's our roundup. Gilas Pilipinas locks in its 12-man lineup for the Southeast Asian Games, with 4 new faces stepping in as the national team reloads for Bangkok. Here's the report from our sports correspondent, Zeus Valdez.
Gilas Pilipinas has officially completed its 12-man lineup for the 33rd Southeast Asian Games in Bangkok, with 4 new names filling the final spots as the team shifts into full preparation for the regional showcase. According to the athletes registry released by the Philippine Olympic Committee, the final additions are Justin Chua, Cedric Manzano, Allen Liwag, and Dal Panopio, solidifying the roster ahead of the December opening. Chua, the most experienced of the 4, brings championship pedigree from Ateneo's historic QAAP 5-peat under Coach Norman Black, the same coach now leading the SEA Games squad. Panopio, Manzano, and Liwag will be making their debuts for the senior men's national team, adding fresh legs and length to the rotation as Gilas turns to a mix of youth and experience. The 4 newcomers join a veteran-heavy core led by Terdy Ravena, Ray Parks Jr., Robert Bolick, Jamie Malonzo, Matthew Wright, Bon Pesumal, Abu Traitor, and college player BJ Pre, a group expected to anchor the team amid a tighter field in Bangkok. The completion of the lineup comes just a week after several key players, including Justin Brownlee and Ange Kwame, were ruled ineligible under the stricter 5-on-5 eligibility policy, forcing adjustments and opening the door for new faces to step in. As Gilas enters the final stretch of preparations, the team now sets its sight on defending the country's basketball supremacy in Southeast Asia and pursuing a 20th men's basketball gold in the biennial meet. Reporting for the Scorecard, I am Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Jia De Guzman leads a reloaded Gilas Pilipinas women's squad determined to end a 2-decade medal drought, while Bagunas and Espejo power a strong men's lineup looking to repeat their 2019 magic. Here's our sports correspondent Sheila Salaysay with the details.
The official roster of Gilas Pilipinas for the SEA Games has been released. Jia De Guzman will lead a 14-member squad aiming to end a 20-year medal drought at the SEA Games in Thailand. Joining her at playmaking is Mars Alba, while the attack line is powered by young stars Bella Belen, Eliza Solomon, Angel Canino, Shaina Nitura, Ea Laure, Vanny Gandler, and Aliyah Malaluan. Del Palomata, Amy Provido, and Madi Madayag will anchor the middle, while Don Macandili Katindig and Justin Hazareno will take charge of floor defense. Placed in Pool A, they will face defending champion Thailand on December 11 and Singapore on December 12. For the men's squad, Brian Bagunas and Mark Espejo return to the front lines. According to the Philippine Olympic Committee, there is only one change to Coach Angiolino Frigoni's 14-man roster from the history-making World Championship squad last September. Replacing veteran libero Jacqueline King is incoming UST rookie Albo Kairi Sali, a 6'5" opposite hitter, making a unique lineup for the biennial meet. He joins multi-awarded opposites Leo Ordiales and Louis Ramirez on the right wing, while NU's Buds Buden and Jade Disquitado will serve as outside hitters. For net defense, Kim Malabunga, Lloyd Josafat, and Peng Tagubilos remain as the middle blockers. Owa Retamar and Eko Adahar will orchestrate plays on the court, while Jos Ibanez and Vince Lorenzo will anchor the backline as floor generals. Four-time Spikers Turf MVP and newly crowned champion Jude Garcia will not be part of the anticipated Alasmen debut as he and his wife are expecting their first child. Alasmen are eyeing a medal again after last winning silver at the 2019 SEA Games in the Philippines. Of this year's 14 players, only Bagunas, Espejo, Retamar, and Malabunga return from the 2019 silver medal squad. The campaign for Alasmen opens on December 13 against Myanmar in Group B, followed by reigning three-time champion Indonesia on December 16. Reporting for the Scorecard, Sheila Salaysay, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
UST coach Pido Harencio is just chilling, even with his contract set to expire this year. Asked about his future, Harencio said there's been no word yet from school officials, but he's at peace with whatever decision comes next. The veteran mentor hinted that some groups had been eyeing his spot even before the season ended, yet maintained his staff did things the right way all year long. Ever the character, Harencio even joked about next year's lineup, saying UST has recruits ready to go, including players who may not be tall but play big. As for Nick Cabanero, the UST star took full accountability for the missed game winner, saying the final play was drawn for him, and thanking Coach Pido and his teammates for the trust.
The play is intended for me, so I think malaki yung tiwala ng mga teammates sa akin na it's for me. So whatever they say, I accept it. It's for my future, it's for my growth. So di man ma-shoot. So ganun talaga yung basketball eh. Kung na-shoot ko, it's a different story, di ba? So grateful pa rin ako kay Coach Pido dahil binigay niya sa akin yung last shot, but yun, di ko talaga nakuha, di ba? So, and the play before that, it was blocked by Neruka. So I thought then it was a goal then, but yun, panalo na talaga yung UP. Pero malaking lesson to sa akin for me to bring up on the next chapter of Nick.
As UST season closes and coaching questions open, one thing is clear. The Growling Tigers are entering an off-season full of decisions and possibly change. Justin Brownlee is set for his EASL debut with Meralco, but his new colors are turning heads. And even a longtime PBA uniform maker says it feels surreal. Ryan Cruz, CEO of LGR, who has seen Brownlee through Ginebra's biggest moments, said he was surprised to see the barangay legend suit up for the Bolts, calling it nakakagulat and medyo surreal, but added that basketball is full of new chapters and that there's full respect for Brownlee's professional journey. Brownlee now joins Ronde Hollis Jefferson in a much-anticipated Meralco tandem as the Bolts look to boost their EASL campaign. A new but temporary jersey and team, but the same Justin Brown. The Philippine women's football team soaking up the scorching heat in Thailand. The Filipinas kicked off its campaign with its first training session under the sunny skies of Chon Buri, host of the football games. After a busy international year highlighted by their first ever AFC Women's Futsal Asian Cup qualification, an 11th place finish in the Asian Cup, and a 10-day training camp in Japan, the Filipinas arrive in Thailand with momentum and renewed confidence. They aim to improve on their 2 SEA Games podium finishes, the latest a bronze in 2022. The Filipinas opened their Group B campaign on December 5. The spotlight turns once again to Filipino culture, artistry, and tradition as Team Philippines prepares for the opening ceremony of the 33rd Southeast Asian Games in Thailand. Heartthrobs Richie Rivero and Majoy Baron showcase the outfits designed by Abel Bacudio, paying tribute to the Laro ng Lahi and the rich heritage of Filipino weaving. The barong is crafted from abaca, piña, bamboo, banana fiber, and water lily, while the pants are woven using the traditional trambia technique. The ensemble also features intricate embroidery inspired by traditional Filipino games, an emblematic reminder of our responsibility to preserve and pass on our cultural identity to future generations. Team Philippines, led by flag bearers Alex Ayala and Brian Bagunas, will march into the opening ceremony of the 33rd SEA Games, scheduled on December 9 at the Raja Mangala Stadium in Bangkok, Thailand. Big shakeup in the boxing world today. The World Boxing Council has stripped undefeated superstar Terence Crawford of his super middleweight title, accusing him of refusing to pay mandatory sanctioning fees from his blockbuster September win over Canelo Alvarez. The WBC says Crawford was given a major discount, dropping the usual fee from 3% to 0.6% of his reported $50 million purse, but claims the American champion never paid and never responded to repeat communications. Crawford fired back with an expletive-filled video, flatly saying he's not paying. He called out WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman, demanding to know why the WBC should be treated differently than the WBO, IBF, or WBA, all of whom accepted his fees. In their ongoing convention in Thailand, the WBC has ordered a bout between Britain's Hamza Shiraz and Cameroon-born, Canada-based contender Christian Mbili for the now vacant title. Formula One will crown its champion in Abu Dhabi on Sunday, with McLaren's Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri both seeking to dethrone Red Bull's Max Verstappen and deny the Dutchman his fifth title in a row. Norris is favorite in the three-way showdown, 12 points clear of Verstappen's, and needing only to finish the podium at Yas Marina, whoever wins on what could be a night of high drama. The last season before the start of a fresh era for the sport and the expansion to 11 teams with new rules and engines has been one of comebacks and shocks for all three contenders, and none can be counted out. All have 7 wins each, all capable of adding to that tally and ready to deliver an edge of seat sunset finale that might have come straight out of Brad Pitt's recent F1 movie blockbuster. All have also suffered the agony of race retirements due to collisions or crushes. Classes resume as the Dean of the Sports World joins us to break down the Gilas SEA Games lineup and the possible showdown between Rolly Romero and the People's Champ, Manny Pacquiao. The Dean, Quinito Henson, is with us on the show when we return right here on The Scorecard. The Gilas roster to the 33rd Southeast Asian Games is already complete, but the question is the lineup good enough to defend our SEA Games crown? Joining us to discuss this matter is the one and only Dean of Philippine Sports, Mr. Quinito Henson. Quinito, good evening and thank you so much for the time.
Good evening, Anton, and nice to be here on the Scorecard. And to your question about the depth or the competence of this Gilas team representing the country in the 33rd Southeast Asian Games, I'll tell you, this is, I think, the 4th edition of this lineup that kicked on changing because of the never-ending doubts on what the eligibility rules would be. And for the Southeast Asian Games, it's so difficult to be able to pin down the Thai organizers for a final ruling. In fact, let me tell you this. I was speaking with the SPP president, Mr. Ricky Vargas, and he said the reason why they released this 12-man lineup is to be able to tell the world that this is it, and that it has been vetted, and that it has been pre-approved by the SPP. And let me also tell you that the Thai organizers have not officially approved our lineup, particularly the 4 replacements of the 4 guys who were flagged out. So, you know, we're taking a big chance, but we're biting the bullet I mean, Coach Norman started practice last Monday at the Moro Lorenzo gym. He's been practicing every day. All told, he will have about 14 days of practice. We play our first game in the Southeast Asian Games against Malaysia. That'll be on December 14. And then we play Vietnam December 15. Assuming we win both those games, we'll take a rest on the 16th and 17th. We'll play the semifinals on the 18th. And we go for gold on the 19th.
Quinito, who do you think is going to be the leader of this team? Obviously, Robert Bolick is there, Thirdy Ravenna coming from his Dubai experience. Who do you think is going to be the man on this Gilas Pilipinas squad for the SEA Games?
You know, that's going to be a very difficult question to answer because there are so many leaders on this team. I think that's one reason why Coach Norman Black selected these 12. At any time, he'll be able to put in a leader on the floor who can give vision, who can give direction to his team. So you've got Thirdy Ravenna, who's got tons of international experiences, coming off a stint in Dubai, maybe going over to Korea. We don't know yet. He can be certainly a leader on the floor. Matthew Wright, with a ton of Gilas experience under his belt, I think he could also be a leader. And Jamie Malonzo, also with his Gilas experience, can also be able to show the way for Gilas on the court. So I think it'll be a luxury for Coach Norman to choose which leader is going to represent him on the floor at any given time.
Quinito, there were also some interesting additions, like right now, Coach Norman Black is part of Coach Yuri Escueta's coaching staff with San Beda, and they're coaching against the Benil Blazers, who have Alan Liwag, and they got Alan Liwag on this team. So what do you think went into that decision of getting a guy like Alan Liwag to be part of the SEA Games?
I think the reason why Alan Liwag, a former MVP of the NCAA, got into the lineup is because Coach Norman has been the consultant of San Beda, and he has seen how Alan Liwag plays. I think when it comes to representing the country, forget about the school colors. Forget about the schools that you represent. You're all representing the country now. And you're looking at the best possible talent you can put together for this team. And I think Alan Liwag fits the bill, as well as PJ Pre. And Coach Norman has also seen him play in some scrimmages in the preseason. And when he was still with FEU. And that's the reason why he got his number called. And it's very difficult to refuse Coach Norman, especially when the call is coming from the country.
Quinito, who do you think is the player with the best chance of surprising the entire country here in the SEA Games?
Another tough question, Anton, but I think Robert Bolick is going to be shining in the Southeast Asian Games. As he has been shining in the PBA, he's the number one assist leader in the PBA, and that speaks volumes of how he has changed his game. He doesn't put too much emphasis on scoring any longer. He puts a lot of emphasis on getting his teammates involved. He is the true leader of the NLEX team. And by the way, NLEX is number one in the PBA standings right now with a record of 6-2. Robert Bolick missed the first two games because his father passed away, but he's certainly showing the way for the Road Warriors, and I think he'll be able to show that kind of leadership, that kind of determination to get the ball moving and getting his teammates involved. You'll see that all in the Southeast Asian Games.
So who do you think will be our biggest threat to the title in the SEA Games?
You know, it's difficult to say at the moment because I've been talking with Coach Norman almost on a daily basis. And I've been asking him, do we know for sure whom we're going to be up against? Thailand being the host, they've got the prerogative to, legitimize their players and make them eligible according to their rules. So we understand that there are several Thai Americans who will be on their lineup. Tyler Lamb will be there. Freddie Lish will be there. Moses Morgan will be there. Now, all these players received their Thai citizenship after 16. In fact, Moses Morgan got his when he was past 30. But they were also able to get special exceptions from FIBA to play as locals.
Wow.
And so the Thai organizers are saying that's the label they want. If they can find players, even from the Philippines, who were able to get their Filipino citizenships before 16, even if they were foreign-born, that's fine, so long as they have FIBA recognition. And it's a pity that Michael Phillips, who has assimilated so well with the Filipino culture, was denied.
Wow.
He was flagged. And the reason being is he received his passport at the age of 20. So 4 years after 16 years old. But he has studied in the Philippines. He has lived in the Philippines over the last 5 years. And, it's a pity because he has played in the SEA Games. So why not give him another chance? I mean, the guy already played in the SEA Games. The same thing with Brandon Ganuelos Rosser. He already played in the SEA Games. So why change the rules when these two players already played in the SEA Games? But it's the prerogative of the Thai organizers. And it certainly made our heads, turn around. Because kawawa naman si Coach Norman. He didn't know what kind of team he could produce because of these changing rules. Is it going to be naturalized players? So at first they said, so long as it's passports only, which was the previous rule, then okay. So that's why they put Justin Brownlee in the roster. Then it became a rule that no naturalized players would come in because they received their passports after 16. If you've got a naturalized player, a foreign-born player who received this passport before 16, okay. But Justin Brownlee got his passport after 16. So it's been a difficult road for Coach Norman, and I really sympathize with him. But he's doing the best that he can, and he has plotted the practice program for Gilas so well, so much so that he has counted the number of days of practice. 14 days, exactly 2 weeks of practice for the Philippine team, including 4 days of practice in Thailand. Now, they leave on December 11, and as I mentioned earlier, they will be playing their first game against Malaysia on December 14.
Well, it's definitely going to be something truly amazing should they pull this off in Thailand. Now, Kinito, let's switch gears a little bit and move on to boxing. Manny Pacquiao and Rolly Romero. Yung balita, umiinit na, possible showdown in January. What's the latest on that?
It doesn't look like it'll be in January because, Manny's not really quite prepared. And the WBA rather, which recognizes Rolly Romero as the welterweight champion, has come into the picture and saying, Manny's not ranked in the WBA. He's ranked number 1 by the WBC, but he's not fighting for the WBC again because it's Barrios who's the champion. And what's the purpose of fighting him again, So it's not sure whether Rolly Romero will be the opponent, but there is talk that Manny will be returning to the ring in April.
All right.
The word is, it could be a rematch with Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Ooh.
They're talking of the Sphere as the venue, and this is a mammoth, a huge, a work of magic in Las Vegas, and I think that's the venue that will be chosen for this rematch for the ages. And by that time, by April, Mayweather will be 49 and Manny will be 47. But they still got a lot of juice left. And I think they'll bring in the crowd. I think they'll bring in the fans. And, their match, how long has it been? 10 years? When they first fought, and there was just so much speculation, there was so much doubt, and there was so much backtalk about the decision. Mayweather won that fight. Other people were saying that maybe Manny could have won that fight. He injured his shoulder, tore his rotator cuff in the 4th round, had surgery after the match. I mean, to prove that he was really injured. Yet it was a close fight, despite that injury. So imagine if Manny had both his shoulders working, he could have won that fight very decisively, but he'd have a chance to prove it.
Yeah,
And they match up in April.
With what you just said, Kinito, forget Rolly Romero. Let's go straight to Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Forget Rolly Romero. I agree completely. Problem is, Manny at this point in his career, at this point in his life, he wants to retire with a belt. If he fights Floyd Mayweather, there will be no belt. There will be a lot of money on the table, that's for sure. And there will be a lot of prestige. And also the fact that Manny can get his revenge. But there won't be a title at stake. And if you fight Rolly Romero, there will be a championship at stake. And Manny wants to retire and go off into the sunset wearing a belt. I think that's the legacy, that's the memory that he wants to leave to his 2 sons who are now aspiring pros.
Well, Quinito, thank you so much once again for the expert analysis and insights. Thank you so much for the time and the knowledge you've shared here tonight on the Scorecard. The Dean, Quinito Henson, with us here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Thank you so much, Dean.
Thank you, Anton. Thank you. Good night to all your viewers.
It's now time to keep your eyes on the prize. Tomorrow, we get a matchup that tells two very different stories in the Western Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves rolling into form and the New Orleans Pelicans hanging by a thread. Minnesota enters at 13-8, trending upward after back-to-back wins against playoff caliber teams. They're 7th in the West and looking every bit like a contender with that top 5 defense and balanced scoring led by Anthony Edwards and not Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle. New Orleans, completely opposite trajectory. The Pelicans are 3-19, the worst record in the West. And frankly, they look like a franchise that's lost its way. They've fired their head coach. They've struggled with injuries, and home attendance has dipped. The vibes in the Smoothie King Center, not good. So tomorrow, it's contender versus collapse. Minnesota looking to bank another win while New Orleans tries to prove the season isn't already over. Now, the story dominating New Orleans is the unraveling of the Zion Williamson era. Zion is out at least 3 more weeks with a right adductor strain. Just the latest in a long list of injuries that have frustrated the franchise and the fan base. At times this season, he has looked like the old Zion, but not consistently and not long enough to change the narrative. And behind the scenes, it's even messier. League sources say the Pelicans are preparing for life after Zion. The team's morale is low, blowout losses, rotating lineups, no chemistry. And what used to be a franchise orbiting around an all-world talent now feels like an organization quietly planning a breakup. Multiple insiders believe the Pelicans are now willing to accept the first decent, reasonable offer for Zion. A stunning shift for a former #1 pick, once viewed as a generational cornerstone. This has become a classic NBA tale. Enormous potential, injuries, tension, and eventually, inevitability. So, if Zion is on the way out, who should take the gamble? Let's break down the most realistic landing spots. Charlotte Hornets. A home state return for Zion. They need star power. They need a power forward. And they can assemble a package of expiring deals and flexible contracts. Sacramento Kings. Perennial talent chasers with trade pieces to move. They can match salary with veterans like Sabonis or Levine, or put together a multiplayer package. Chemistry? Questionable. Risk tolerance? Very high. Phoenix Suns. If owner Matt Ishbia still wants stars, this is the swing. Jalen Green for Zion? Works straight up, maybe. Very risky, very flashy, but very Phoenix. Chicago Bulls stuck in play-in purgatory and desperate for a jolt. They have matching salary and draft picks, and acquiring Zion without losing a centerpiece might appeal. All 4 teams can talk themselves into the upside. All 4 would be terrified of the downside. But that's the Zion market today. Low leverage, high volatility, and maybe one GM is bold enough to roll the dice. And we wrap with a question that suddenly matters for Minnesota. Should the Timberwolves sign CP3 Chris Paul? After a bizarre late-night decision, the Clippers sent CP3 home and released him, ending what was supposed to be a farewell season. Reports say his leadership style clashed with the team and he wasn't even on speaking terms with head coach Ty Lue for weeks. Now at 40, Paul put up just 3 points and 3 assists this year in limited minutes. But last season, even at 39, he played all 82 games and averaged nearly 9 points and 7 assists at a solid clip. Minnesota has a need. Mike Conley is aging and playing around 20 minutes a night. Their young guard, Rob Dillingham, isn't quite ready. A Conley-Paul 20 and 20 minute split could keep both veterans fresh for a playoff run. Sure, it'd be one of the oldest point guard tandems in league history. But if CP3 wants one last shot at a ring, the Wolves might be the perfect place for it. Imagine the ending. Minnesota makes a title push. and Conley and Paul ride off into the sunset together, finally as champions. Tomorrow night, Wolves versus Pelicans. It's more than a game. It's a snapshot of two franchises heading in opposite directions with trade rumors, roster questions, and big picture futures hanging in the balance. And here's the full breakdown for tomorrow's matches. Before we go, let's look at what UST head coach Pido Harencio had to say for the next UAP season after their season exit. So sabi niya, kung kami pa rin o hindi na, okay naman ako. Kung wala na, pumalit yung iba, yung mga nang-aaswang sa amin. Yun na yun. As always, not holding back, Coach Pido Harencio. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.